Hey, everybody. We are back with another Monday night. The name of our podcast is evolving. So now it's LadyG and MrT Like the Way You Drink show. What do you think?
I love it. It was so funny how that came about. It was the LadyG and MrT was one of those flukes that just kind of came about, and it's like, hey, it's available. Why not?
Yeah.
And then as we were talking, and I said to Tim, I said, I like the way you drink because there was something he had sent me. And then I said, hey, I wonder if that URL is available. And he found.
Yeah. LikeTheWayYouDrink.com. We got that one, but I LikeTheWayYouDrink.com. I just couldn't nail that one down yet. Okay. But LikeTheWayYouDrink.com is ours, so we'll be having it. And I'm going to start getting these lined up on a back website and stuff, so everybody can get the replays, stuff like that. But today's podcast is lady. Well, first of all, before we get started, all right, I'm Tim Gillette, or known as Mr. T. All right, Simple Easy Marketing. My co-host from Portland, Oregon is
Gladys Boutwell, or Lady G. I'm with Insurance by Design. I serve the residents of Oregon as well as Washington and California, but I focus on Oregon for the most part when it comes to employee benefits.
Cool. So, and basically, guys, this is just a show where we like to talk about things we drink and the things we eat. And yesterday was a big drinking day. How much did you drink yesterday?
Not enough. I had one Bloody Mary. And then towards the end of, like, after Super Bowl, when I was watching the Olympics, I had one additional drink. I got a little jarrito, one of those pineapple flavored ones, added a little bit of vodka to it. Maybe it was a shot worth. That was it. I actually did not drink as much as I wanted to, and it was because I ran out of Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah. So yesterday morning, we started our morning in Fort Worth, Texas. That was our getaway for Valentine's Day. We went away over the weekend because we have a theater over there, a musical theater. We like to go. We have season tickets, and our tickets just happened to be yesterday was the play from 2:00 to 4:00. We made it home, and the first by the time we got all the way back home, it was a 45-minute drive without traffic.
Oh, nice.
And yeah. And we got home to they were 5 minutes into the game.
Hey, you got like the best. Oh my goodness, the best part of the game. That was craziness. How all that unfolded. Oh, it was crazy.
So I started out our mornings. Before we went to the show over there, we stopped at a bar that I found in the Dallas area. It's called Mashed. It originally was supposed to be a moonshine bar, and they used to have like a wall of moonshines.
Oh, what happened?
All right. They changed it to it's just spirits. But the moonshine spirit is still there. It's just mixed into some of their drinks, and it's not like they used to have, like, you could do moonshine, tastings, and you can get what do they call the beer taster things? The flight of moonshine. And yeah, they don't have that anymore, but they have all kinds of good drinks. But their Bloody Mary was like, and she says to me yesterday, because it's their special Bloody Mary, and she says, "You want it spicy?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And then they have an added shrimp and bacon. I'm like, hell yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to have some good food with your Bloody Mary. Absolutely.
So that's where I had that. And then when we went to the theater, I had.
So that was before the theater?
The theater. That was breakfast. Then we went to the theater, and I had two glasses of bourbon at the theater. And when we got home, I didn't drink all that much at home last night. I think I had Dr. Pepper, and then I might have had like some of the beer. That's it. So.
Yeah, I should have probably moved on to beer. And then Sean was saying, so you're going to have flat sparkling and flat beer. Is that what your podcast is about? I said, yeah.
Leftover beer. Yeah.
But it wasn't flat because it's still, they are still closed. I did not leave them open.
Yeah. So I have bottles, and I do have one of our Shiner.
Okay.
And I do have, of course, I've got leftover Corona in my refrigerator.
I did have a Modelo, but I left that one. What I went with was the 10 Barrel Brewing. It's pub beer.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of fun, so I had to grab that one. And then Fat Tire. I will give Fat Tire. So I'm also an ambassador for Terrapin Events. So they do some obstacle course racing, but some 10Ks and 5Ks throughout the year. And so I volunteered, and after 5 hours of a lot of hard labor at Lee Farms on Friday, I had left my jacket, and I said, "Oh, where's my jacket?" And they said, "It's by the beer." And I was like, well, since the beer was there, I'm like, I'm grabbing a beer, and they said, take it. And I was like, thank you. So thank you, Terrapin Events, for the fat tire. And then, of course, I have some Pabst Blue Ribbon because it reminded me of a movie where they were talking about Heineken, and they said F Heineken, Pabst Blue Ribbon. So this is the thing. So
wait a minute, didn't Pabst Blue Ribbon have a good commercial yesterday with bowling or something like that? Was that Pabst or was that?
I don't think it was Pabst. It was. I know that there was Budweiser had one, and then
Bud Light. To me, every commercial was bleh. But anyway,
because they had the seltzers, and the Clydesdale, of course, is always, but not Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm trying to think if there was another beer that may have. You're gonna make me think about that one.
I know. Did Pabst Blue Ribbon? Let me Google real quick.
Yeah, because I don't think today was, or this, I don't think this was the best Super Bowl commercials overall. I don't think there was as many really good commercials as others. There was Doritos or Lay's, and what was they had 3 crypto commercials. So it was the first crypto commercial, whose name I can't remember because it had a funky name with an F in there. That one was actually quite hilarious. But then they had some local commercials. So they had 3 local commercials, which were just regular commercials. And we're like, I guess they had some added space. So they said, hey, local commercials, have at it and just give your own thing. So okay.
Yeah, to me it was a good game, but commercials just
right. That's disappointing. That's okay. So some years there's better commercials than others.
Yeah. So, and I was waiting for all the good commercials, and it was very disappointed. Like the one I liked the most, I got to say, was the Larry David. Like that won't work.
Oh yeah, that's the one. It was the crypto one. That was the first
one of the crypto ones. That stuff won't work. And I like take it from me, the Larry David. Take it from me.
Never
I know.
wrong.
I'm like never wrong. And my favorite part of the commercial was when he was doing the Declaration of Independence. All right. And they're like, wait a minute. No, we got to have a king. We can't be without a king. Like, no, this is so everybody can vote. Even the stupid one.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody. Oh, okay, I'm in.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. That was quite hilarious. I got to check a lot of that one.
Yeah. I expected more out of the Toyota keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
I expected Tom Jones to show up into it, and he didn't, even though they were playing his song in it. But I expected Tom Jones to show up into it, even though all the other Joneses. But having the Jonas brother come up at the end going, I'm just keeping up with the Joneses. But that was unique.
Yeah, there was. And then somebody said, who is that? And I said, one of the Jonas brothers. And it's like, oh, okay. And we went on.
Totally over their head. But anyway. So tonight we thought our episode, guys, we thought we'd actually do leftover food from the Super Bowl, because basically everything that I have, or everything I think we both have for food, is stuff that I had for my Super Bowl party yesterday with our small party. Mom, Gwen, and I, our party. Yeah,
there was 2 of us, and then the roommate came through Gray's, and I did something that I never do for Super Bowl. It's like, oh, well, you were talking about what to have, and it's like, oh, burrito, and I'm going, burrito? So I made all this stuff for burritos, and I said to Sean, I know you're not going to want a burrito, so pick up the shells. So he picked up the hard shells and made tacos. So we had burritos and tacos, and we had cocktail sauce, and we had what else did we have? Oh my goodness, we kept eating. There was just a lot of food, and we had the little Smokies and some meatballs in a mushroom cream sauce. It was actually not too shabby. Something different. I usually go all out and I do different things, but that was kind of fun. Try different things.
One of the things that Gwen said she was going to make, and she didn't. It's become our new favorite snack for having at night. Is these new? It is a Reuben quesadilla. Oh,
so corned beef in the quesadilla?
Corned beef, sauerkraut, all right, and it's got I forget what sauce is into it, but it's got little pieces of apple in it.
Oh, so is the sauerkraut in the quesadilla or on top of the quesadilla as a garnish?
It's all inside. Yeah.
You're making me drool here.
I know. It's something we'll have to bring on the show when I get the recipe so you can make it. All right. And then we can do them on the show, because to me it's a cool snack food for drinking. Yeah.
Right. Yes, that it just goes, and the sauerkraut, that pickling just tastes so good. And I would have put it as a garnish on top to eat it versus inside. But putting it inside, that just gives it it gives it a lot of saliva in my mouth.
And I think it's got some little bit of pepper into it and stuff like that too. So I'd have to look at the recipe again. We found it in one of her Weight Watchers books that she has. We have a ton. She has a whole series of Weight Watchers cookbooks because she used to work for Weight Watchers.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we used to pick stuff out because most of the meals in them are like meals for two. And
Right.
it's just the two of us. So we always go through and find something interesting to make. That's big. That's become our new favorite out of everything we've done in a year. Yeah.
Very cool.
So, all right. So what are we going to do here tonight? So
this is what we have. I picked up a flank steak.
Okay, I didn't do the steak, but yeah, you got the steak tonight. But
yeah, I also have ribs. We didn't even touch the ribs. And then, of course, my shrimp with my homemade cocktail sauce, right? Because got to make my own cocktail sauce. And then, of course, the wings. These are the buffalo, and then these are Korean. And then, of course, homemade ranch dressing because
that's right.
Dressing. Did you forget ranch dressing? I have this like. There you go.
I just have my wings. All right. I have my sauces in separate bowls. Gwen has these cute bowls I always had to use for me.
I love those.
This is my cocktail sauce. This is my salsa.
Here's my salsa in my little mason jar. So normally I make my own salsa, and I make a pretty decent salsa, but this one day I was at this La Fiesta Mexicana, which is a little Mexican market that's in Wilsonville.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make, I was buying some meat, and they're like, anything else? And I was like, I got the cheese. And then it's like, do you need some salsa? And I went, well, sure, I'll try it. So I got some salsa, and I really like their salsa. So I'm like going, okay, I can hang. Mexican market made by Mexicans. I was like, I got to try it. Sometimes I can be disappointed, not this time. And then with Juanita's chips, because Juanita's chips, they're the best.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and our theme tonight was what's left over from the Super Bowl. And, we talk a little bit about football. All right. And then we do know that today is, the Valentine's Day, which we'll close out with some champagne, which this is a champagne that you sent me that I get to open up. I've not opened it yet. I'm going to open it on camera tonight. So.
Very cool. So,
and then once we hit, we're on episode 12 tonight, is it? I think we're on episode 12, right?
Well, I thought it was farther than that, but
yeah. So I think when we get to episode like 20 or 25, something like that, I'm going to send you the champagne from my area up to you.
Oh, perfect.
And that's what we're going to celebrate once we hit a number or something like that.
Yeah. 25. I think 25 will be a good one.
It will, because the rate we're going, it's going to take us forever to get to 25. So. Anyway.
Okay, so we're going to open up some beer. I'm debating, which way should I go? Because Pabst Blue Ribbon, nice and light. This one's very drinkable. This is something you could easily find at a Super Bowl
that's
party.
Available anywhere. You can find it in the grocery stores down here.
Yep.
So
yeah, this is an easy one. You're going to find it at locations. You go to a party, you're going to find the Coors Light, the Bud Light, the Pabst Blue Ribbon, maybe some Heineken. This one you probably won't find out there. It is Oregon based, but it is light, but not super light. It has flavor, and I love that it's pub beer, because why the heck not? And when I first saw it, I was like going, hey, pub beer must be cheap, and it was very inexpensive. It was on sale. And then I realized it was 10 Barrel Brewing. That is one of the really good breweries here. And when I tasted the beer, I went, oh my goodness, it's actually good stuff. This one, it's a lager, and I don't remember what the alcohol. Oh, I think it's an 8%. Is it 8%? It's either a 6 or an 8. I can't read. Alcohol by volume. Whereas your Pabst Blue Ribbon, it's a little bit lighter. I think this one's like 5%. Alcohol by volume. I know it's in here somewhere. I'll probably find it at some point. But this one's nice and light, but not. Oh, it's probably up here. Yeah. And established in Milwaukee in 1844. So this has been around for a while, 1844. And this is Milwaukee, Wisconsin with an EE, not Milwaukee, Oregon with an IE. So, for those in Oregon, it's not Milwaukee, Oregon, it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Anyway, so What I'm going to do tonight for beers that I have, when we went off of leftovers. All right, the stuff that I always have left over in my fridge. I always have the ruby red Shiner.
Okay.
Always have that. That's grapefruit, which you don't like.
Yeah.
And of course, this is almost always in my fridge. And as you notice, I have the smaller bottles.
Yeah, I love the little Coronitas. When you make not Bloody Marys, like a margarita, you can add that, one little.
Yeah. That's half the reason you have them down here is to put them in the margarita. Wait. I remember one time, I don't know if you know Joe Bazzillo. All right. I had Joe Bazzillo was here and I had lunch with him before he ran to the airport at a Mexican restaurant in Grapevine.
Okay.
And we got him one of them. And like he was texting us for like hours afterwards. Oh my God, what was in that drink? I was buzzed the whole flight.
And then of course you get on a flight, that's just gonna help.
Yeah, that's gonna really enhance it. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. So anyway, so I am going to open up the ruby red first. All right, to try. Because of the fact that I'll save my Corona because I know I'll drink that whole Corona if I open that first. So
10 Barrel Brewing. Look at that color.
I got my Three Nations beer glass.
Oh, nice. I went with the smaller one. This one is this one is from, I know there's a logo down there. I can't remember, but fun little glass.
Yeah.
Look at it. Our colors are fairly close.
Mine's a little yellow. Mine feels yellower, but probably because I've got the hands. And it's all about how the lighting. Both of our lightings could be different. So, yeah. Anyway.
This one definitely helps cool down the spiciness because this is a red salsa that's very spicy. So it helps cool it down.
Now, when you say cool down spicy, all right, that's one thing about with beer. Because one of my wings, I actually added my Frank's Red Hot sauce to it.
Oh.
So when you say spicy, which is the one I'm going to have first, of course, because we add beers with spice.
Yes. And then, of course, I'm using my ranch dressing because ranch dressing, hello.
Because if you eat blue cheese dressing with your wings, you should not listen to our show.
Right.
You're not our kind of people.
Good thing Sean's not listening right now. He's still working. I hear him on a call. He loves blue cheese, loves blue cheese. And these aren't overly spicy, so.
Well, because of the fact that we were traveling this weekend, and I really didn't feel like making wings today, I got pre-bought from the store. I think they're a medium. I prefer medium. That's my favorite blend, medium. While I like hot foods, I can spice it up.
Right.
And it does. Okay, so the ruby red immediately does. It neutralizes the sting of the wings. And it's a good thing I have more because I'm probably going to drink these tonight. It's a beer night. It's not like we're drinking vodka where I will get totally crapped out.
Right. So many years ago, oh my goodness, 25 years ago or so, I went into this little Cuban bakery in Glendale, California, and Portos. And people go to Portos because it's delicious. And they've grown since. But I asked them, it was one morning, and I said, well, is your coffee strong? And they said, asking a Cuban if their coffee is strong is like asking a Mexican, is it spicy? So when I asked, are these spicy? They're like, oh, we're not sure. We don't touch it, And I'm like, mind you, it was New Seasons. And they're looking at the ingredients to see how spicy it is. And I'm like, so is this one spicier than that one? And they couldn't tell me. Whereas if I had been at a Mexican place, I would have said, of course we make them spicy. It's Mexican restaurant. So this one, they said, oh, yeah, it's spicy for you. And I went, okay, thank you for letting me know. The Korean ones are actually spicier than my buffalo ones.
Yes, I do love Korean barbecue because of that. It's got a Korean barbecue usually has a really neat spice to it. So I'm going to do next. I'm going to go with my chips and salsa, which I'm pretty sure, I could have done queso. We could have done guac, but let me face it. Guac and queso never make it past the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. You can't let guac just sit. I mean, by the next day, it's it's not going to taste
No,
the same.
you
It's
got
going
to
to be
eat
brown.
guac in queso. Once you heat it up, you got to eat it fresh. Oh, we have a second chip. I'm sorry.
So this is a flank steak. I picked up New Seasons was my savior today. Went to New Seasons to get scallops for dinner tonight, and I couldn't find them. They didn't have them fresh. So then as I was walking out, I'm walking by the deli, and then I looked over and I'm like, ooh, wings.
Yeah.
And then as they're getting me the wings, I see this gorgeous flank steak that's already cooked and sliced up. And I said, give me the rarest piece you have. I said, because I'm going to be reheating it later.
Yeah.
And there's this rosemary garlic on it that is absolutely delicious. And I almost bought a flank steak on Saturday and opted not to because I said, oh, I got so much other food, and flank steak isn't as easy to keep out, if you will. It's going to be to eat right away. So I'm kind of glad I picked up this flank steak. It has really good flavor. Okay. So now that have you had your cocktail sauce? Yes, with your.
I've not had my cocktail sauce with it, but I'm telling you, chips and salsa, I love it. I mean, everything. Then again, this is just Shiner beer. It's got the hints of grapefruit, which you don't like. I love the grapefruit and the orange hints in beer.
Oh yeah, I love the regular Shiner Bock. Just the grapefruit. It just that ruby one. I'm not gonna like it. And no matter how much they say, oh no, this one's different. It's like no, nope. Sorry, nope.
But it's what you like as hints. When I open a Corona, you know what I have next to on my plate over here to put in it, right?
Lime.
Of course. It goes with it. It just goes with it. There are certain things that got to accent, all right? And that's one of them. It has to. Yeah, anyway.
No, absolutely. I can still feel that little bit of heat in my mouth from the.
I can't feel the heat from anything after this neutralized it. And that could be the Shiner Bock that just neutralizes it. And I did pour Frank's hot sauce on our Frank's sauce on my wing.
That's good. Good wings. And if I would have had more time, I probably would have done that. I would have added more of my own to it. But
okay,
wing sauce is super easy to make, y'all. Okay, so you get your wings, you do a dry rub seasoning on it, throw them in the oven. While they're being cooked on the stovetop, you melt butter, like real butter. And then you add your hot sauce, whether it be Frank's or Tapatio, whatever you want, just add butter to it, or butter to your hot sauce. Melt the butter first, then add it to your taste. Then once you pull out the wings, you immediately pour, and somebody was just drizzling over. No, you don't drizzle. You put it in a glass or metal bowl and you mix it all up, and it just coats it beautifully. And your wings are done. So they are super duper easy to make.
Okay. So I've done that, like making the sauce, right? You know what I mean? I've not made my own sauce yet. I've been looking through ways to do it. But I've always take my wings after I bring them out of the oven, or even if I cook them on the grill or fry them, however I do them. I usually bread mine and fry them, right? I then take 2 big stainless bowls. I put all the wings in the bowl. I take the sauce, I drizzle it all over it, close the bowls, and shake them.
Oh, I love that idea. 2 bowls.
Yeah, it kind of almost covers them. And sometimes I have to do it twice because it didn't cover them all enough. All right. But it really soaks it in because I don't like to cook it in the sauce. Now, one of the reasons my sauce may not be as spicy is everything that I put on my plate tonight to eat is literally, I'm pulling out of the refrigerator. It's leftovers. I'm going to eat it cold. I didn't reheat my wings tonight. I'm thinking Saturday morning, beer. And anyway, I almost was going to bring the cold pizza I had in the refrigerator. Anyway.
That was the other request for Super Bowl is pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're not doing pizza. But that would have been an easy one to be able to pull out. And I love cold pizza. I don't know. Some people don't like it. I love cold pizza. There's just something about a good cold pizza. If it's, a not so good cold pizza, the cheese is going to be like this funky,
weird cheese. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you need the real stuff. And then you're going to have a delicious cold pizza.
So the biggest thing I'm having with pizza joints down here, the mains, your Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's, is they're
Right.
not putting enough sauce on them anymore. I've got to ask for extra sauce.
Well, are they charging you for it?
They might. I don't know. You think I look at the bill of my pizza bill? Come on.
You're just like, okay.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's how I want it. Make it the way I want it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a pizza because Sean plays Dungeons and Dragons. So D&D has this, neighbors come over and they play every Sunday for the most part. And they had ordered pizza from the Pizza Onion or Onion Pizza or something. And they had to ask for extra sauce and extra meat. And they did put extra sauce and extra meat. And I don't know how much they charge extra for that, but it makes a huge difference when you got a lot of sauce. You got to have enough sauce on your stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I remember when I was a kid, there was this like small pizza shop I used to go to all the time. The sauce was phenomenal. And he put very little on, but I'm telling you, even the little bit he put on would wake you up with sauce. I mean, because his sauce was so flavorful.
Wow.
A lot of these places, their sauce isn't flavorful.
Yeah, it's just tomato sauce or tomato paste. Is that place still around, or did they close down once the owner got, retired?
It was in Pennsylvania. I haven't been back there in years. So, I have gotten used to Pizza Hut, right? But like I go to Pizza Hut, I get Pizza Hut at the Mavericks game when we go.
Okay.
Because that's what they have in the stadium. It always tastes so bland at the stadium, and they don't have the red peppers to put on it. Oh,
so you got to take your own.
Yeah. So
this is a very easygoing beer. Oh my goodness, look at that! I've beer's down to here, and this is I guess it's a tall boy when you compare it to the regular 12-ounce. 16 fluids, so 16 fluid ounces. But just easy to drink, and sometimes that's what you need when you're at a football or you're watching the basketball, whatever it is. Having something nice and light is what you need. You don't need anything hard. That's just, I did have my Bloody Mary before Super Bowl started, so that was kind of late breakfast because I started cooking, and then it was food before Super Bowl even started. But after that, I think I probably would have switched over to just a nice light beer, nothing like an IPA or anything like that. But I'm not a big IPA fan anyway, so that IPA I probably would have milked it and not finished it, after 3-4 hours. So
okay, I have opened my Corona, and I am squeezing the lime into the bottle.
So one of the fun things to do, ladies, guys could probably do it, is my fingers are too skinny, my thumb is. So what you do is just put the bottle on your hand and then slowly spin it upside down to allow the lime to go all the way to the top. And then you slowly bring it back. See, Tim could do it with one finger because he's a guy. He's got bigger, but the whole point is to get that lime to go to the bottom. That way you get that lime flavor all the way through versus just your first sip. So you're drinking it, and then after that, no more lime. So that just kind of helps put the lime all the way across. So
it doesn't go all the way down because it's stuck in the middle.
It sometimes happens.
Hold on, I have a solution for that. I'm pretty sure.
Do you have a paper opener? Are you going to stick it in there?
No, my knife actually pushed it down.
There you go. I like getting notifications. There's been a deposit made into my account. Yay! I'm like,
you know what? I know the notification I got.
Overdraft?
No.
So
someone, because I have a virtual event and I have one coming up this Friday.
You moved from January to this month?
I do it every month, but I canceled January's because I was sick. I just got someone who put in 3 separate applications to speak. The same person.
So for 3 different topics?
Yes.
Or
yes.
So they think that you're going to allow them to speak 3 different times?
No, I think they're trying to do everything they can possible, thinking like, I want to do everything to get this guy to accept me. I don't know who it is, so the answer is no.
sometimes when you try too hard, people, it's like, it's just, you start rubbing people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good one thing, it's all about what's that one thing that you do so well that people know you for that one thing. So for Tim, it's the blogging and vlogging. You know, how is it that you get out there and put your best foot forward, and this person isn't putting their best foot forward? For me, it's employee benefits, health insurance. That's like where I get all giddy, and it's like I can talk about health insurance even in my sleep, and I've been told that I do that. The first time was I was visiting my brother, and my cousin and I were sharing a room, and he said that I was talking in my sleep and that I was telling the employee to enroll, and that something else insurance related. So yes, I do talk about insurance in my sleep. I kind of, I'm a little geeky that way.
Uh-huh.
In case you didn't know that about me, Tim, yes, I do have geekiness in me. So it's fun stuff. How do you get to help people? So
yeah.
All right. I haven't, because I poured more of my beer. I didn't open my amber ale yet. Who knows? I might just stick to my pub beer to begin with, and stick to that for a moment. But
I haven't tasted. I've actually had a couple before, but I haven't tasted my Corona. So,
but your Corona, of course, is going to be good. I think I may have mentioned how to make your cocktail sauce, y'all. Ketchup, horseradish, prepared horseradish. Lemon, not lime, lemon. There's a difference. So use lemon and your favorite hot sauce, whether it be Frank's or whether it be Tapatio. On this one, I think I use Frank's Red Hot. I think that's what was in the fridge. That's what I used. And then just adjust it. If it gets a little too white, that means you put way too much horseradish in there. Just adjust it. I had when I poured the hot sauce, too much came out. I kind of poured some of it out, added more ketchup to it. It adjusted beautifully. So depending on how hot you want it, easy peasy. You can also,
after having the ruby red,
the cocktail sauce isn't going.
No, everything doesn't taste right because with the.
You got to cleanse your palate.
Yeah, with the Corona, everything doesn't taste right.
So the cocktail sauce, you can do so much with it. If you have oyster shooters, put the oyster shooter at the bottom, put your cocktail sauce, and then top it off with a little bit of vodka or tequila or gin, whatever you prefer. I prefer the vodka. And then when you do the shooter, because the oyster's at the bottom, it's going to bring up your vodka and your cocktail sauce. If you put the cocktail sauce at the bottom, it's not going to come up. It's just going to stick there. And then you're going to end up with an oyster and vodka. So that's how you make an oyster shooter with homemade cocktail sauce. Even my mama would have one once in a while.
Hold on. Let me try rinsing the glass out.
There you go. Good idea.
Not just rinsing the palate out.
That's important. Just like if you're doing a flight of wine, you want to rinse out your glass. And when you're rinsing out your glass, the proper way to rinse out your glass when you're going from one wine to the next is using the next wine, just a little bit of it to help clear it out. When you add water, even though you're clearing it off, there's still a little bit of water residue there. And so then it's going to dilute to a certain extent your next wine. So make sure that you use the next wine to clean your glass.
Always.
Not all places will allow you to do that. But if you ask them, hey, can I just have just a few drops to cleanse it? They will do it. You have to ask because most of them won't do it for you. Well, I definitely can't go from Pup Beer to Pabst Blue Ribbon. So Pabst, I'm going to save you for another time. But I will open up.
I want you to do the Fat Tire. Yeah, I think I've had Fat Tire before. So
as I was one day I was getting home and my neighbor was having a rough day. She started a new job, just had a horrible Friday. And she's telling me what's going on. And so we're walking, and I walk her to her door. And I said, and I had a seltzer and something else. And then she goes, no, I don't like that. And I said, and then I pulled out a Fat Tire, and her eyes opened up. She goes, I love Fat Tire. And I said, you deserve a fat tire, after a long work week, and then ending it on a Friday with just crap. Have a fat tire. So this is an amber ale. So this one's going to be a little bit darker, but not, let's put it over here so you can see the white. Let me get my light. So that's way too light. See, it has more of an amber color to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just has a gorgeous color to it. So Fat Tire, this is a New Belgium, established 1991 in Colorado. So this is a Colorado beer, amber ale, 1990. That was a great year. That's the year I graduated high school.
What year?
1991. Man, I feel old. 1991. Yep.
I had a kid out of diapers by then.
You are not that much older than I am. Come on, Tim.
Apparently I am, because like my kid was out of diapers by the time you graduated high school. Not just had a kid, but had a kid that was
out of diaper
phase.
If you notice on this one, it has a little bit more head on it.
Yeah.
The pub beer really didn't have a whole lot of head. This one does have a little bit.
Now I had the head come up on my Corona, but I thought it was because the lime accenting it and the fact that I tipped it to get the lime all the way through it. Because when I poured it poured ahead, unlike Shiner's did.
Yeah, and it's probably a little bit of oxygen got in there, and that just so make sure when you pour it on the side, because if you pour it down, so a sparkling wine you want to pour, or a real champagne actually, you want to pour right down the middle. The beer you want to pour on the side, because otherwise you're going to end up with this much head, and then you have to wait for it to calm down, or you got to and then you got a bunch of air in your tummy, and that's no fun. That's part of the problem with beer, is that you might feel bloated. So if you go with those lighter ones, you might not feel as bloated. Make sure you eat plenty and water, and that'll help reduce the amount of bloat. And then there's always Gas X. Gas X is supposed to be for gas, but it also helps reduce your bloating. So it's not about, I'm trying to prevent gas. No, it's preventing the bloating in your belly. And then, because I don't want to feel like I have this little belly, especially if I'm wearing a tight fitting, top, then I'm going to feel like this my little beer belly there that looks like a little pot belly pig. The cute ones, of course, the little ones, not when they grow big and become hogs. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, tell us again about your beer belly. Our listeners want to know about Gladys's beer belly. Hashtag Gladys beer belly.
I got to work on it. I'm working on it. The problem is I'm working on it too much. I got to work on getting it. I got to work on getting the pony keg off and getting that 6-pack in. So it's a process. So this one, the flavor on this one is a little bit more caramel, but not sweet. So it's not a sweet flavor. It just has more of that caramel, that richer flavor to it. So that's what this one brings out. This one very, on the lighter side with a lot of good flavor. This one, a little bit richer, some good flavor. Let's see how it goes with my shrimp cocktail.
So as my Corona lime sunk to the bottom, I got more of a zesty drink in my thing, but I still want to go back to the grapefruit. But then again, grapefruit is more of a taste that I like, all right, whereas you don't like it. So grapefruit, orange, things like that. I kind of like the beers that accent that. I prefer the beers that accent that. So the fact that there was one left over in my refrigerator after a Super Bowl, we know there's always this in my refrigerator.
Right. There was a blood orange IPA that I did try a week ago. I do a lot of running, so I'm part of the Portland Running Company. That's what it is, Portland Running Company. I bought their beer series. So what it is that I think it's a couple of Saturdays a month. You go to a different brewery, and then you run a 5K, and then you get your beer. And so I bought the series that has, 15 beers or something like that, or 15 breweries. And then you can bring a buddy for free. And it's just a lot of fun. So they had their kickoff event, and they had different breweries that are sponsoring throughout the year there. And so one of them had a blood orange IPA. And I went, and I don't like IPAs because it tastes like grapefruit. But this one, that blood orange kind of gave it a slightly different flavor to it. So I was kind of impressed with them. So I was like, okay, I'll think about it. But they also had 2 different Mexican lagers. And of course, I love Mexican lagers. If I had lime, that would have made it just boom. Just the lime just gives it, enhances it.
It is. And you notice it is the Mexican beers that it's lime.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have learned over the years, my taste I learned from tasting coffees from working at Starbucks.
Right.
And I can taste a coffee and tell you where it's from based on the taste of the coffee. And most of your coffees that come from like Colombia will have a cocoa-y aftertaste, whereas the citrusy aftertaste are your Ethiopian coffees. I love Ethiopian coffees.
I will have to send you a coffee from Kenya.
Kenya can border on your Ethiopian, all right, taste. So that has a little bit of citrusy, all right, but they go very well with like a chocolate as well. So,
oh, nice.
And it's very interesting that when I worked for Starbucks, if some of you remember in the 2007 timeframe, Starbucks did this shutdown for a night, and they're going to retrain all their baristas for a 2-hour training.
Okay.
So during that training, our district manager came in, and she actually made I love a French press of coffee, press of Kenya coffee, Starbucks Kenya blend. And then she decided to make a French press of Kenya that was just a little bit less coffee grounds to it.
Okay.
Figuring she was going to trick us until I tasted it.
And you're like,
tastes like Kenya, but it tastes like you put about 2/3 of the coffee to what you're supposed to put in. And she went, "Oh my God, you're good." And I'm like, I did the coffee passport twice. I love doing the coffee tasting so much. I did it twice.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know my coffees.
I will have to get you some Kenyan coffee. This one particular person, he works. He's one of those that is all about sustainability and helping the farmers in Kenya actually get a fair price for their beans. And so he sources them and is very particular about where he sources his beans from, and then roasts them here in Oregon. And then for the most part sells it wholesale, but he does do smaller batches. So I will have to get a batch and send over to you. Okay. I think you'll enjoy it. Especially because you're so particular and you will appreciate the flavors. Yeah. There's a lot of people that appreciate coffee, just like people appreciate wine and beer and spirits. But then there's those particular people that just appreciate just a certain something where they just get all the nuances, and coffee. And then I think with certain drinks, you're going to pull those flavors out.
You see me with drinks, but what was it? Craig's event that he got with the winter freeze here.
Yeah.
There was a coffee shop open next door. And they have awesome espresso. Like, I bought a bag of it to bring home to Gwen for her machine. But like, I went over there every day as opposed to the Starbucks coffee in the hotel.
Starbucks?
No. Uh-oh, you froze. You have a cute face when you froze, but you froze. Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
I lost you too.
You froze like this.
Ooh, you froze like this. Okay, no hands. There was no hands in the picture. I'm just picturing you with your hands because you're explaining. See, for me, I have the Latina in me. Do you got Italian in you? You know, it's like, so one thing I will have to share. So when Sean speaks, he's very animated. He uses his body and his hands, and I'm like, where the heck did this come from? Well, it wasn't until recently that I found out he's part Italian. So and I go, oh, because there was some Irish and some British and blah, blah. But it was like the Italian in him. I went, oh, that makes sense. that
Italians, they speak more with the hands than they do with the mouth. Okay.
So I know we're getting towards the end, and I'm like, I still got beer in here, but we're gonna set it aside. I think we need to move on to our sparkling. I will have to tell you. So this
I am
is
going to rinse out with a little bit of my seltzer water.
perfect. I got a separate glass for that. This is from Princess House. So for those of you that are my age, you know about Princess House. I've had these glasses since 1998, 1999. It goes a while back. But I got these because I did a show, it's a multi-level marketing. And so I sold, and so had friends come over. So I got these glasses. So I've had these for a long time.
Right after you got out of high school, apparently.
Apparently, right?
All right.
Thank you, Tim.
Now we're gonna rub that in a little bit more.
Yes. So this is One Hope wine. So One Hope wine is out of Napa. So all their wine is out of Napa. And when when One Hope wine first started, it was just small batches that were being made. That friends got together and said, you know what, we need to figure out a way where we can give back to the community. And then a larger conglomerate said, we're going to help you. So this particular one is a natural almond. So this is an almond sparkling. 10% of their proceeds go to a nonprofit. So when I purchased this, the local vendor here in Oregon, she did a Betty White event where, because Betty White loved animals. And so part of the 10% of the proceeds from this bottle and yours, Tim, went to the Oregon rescue, the dog rescue. So there is more beyond just the sparkling. There's a reason why we picked this one. One, because Tim had talked about almond wines, and me, because I wanted to give back to community and just give a shout out to One Hope Wine for what they're doing. So I think we had talked about.
And the reason we're finishing up with champagne is because to show you that we are really true people and true friends. All right. Our Valentine's Day. Yes, we know it's Valentine's Day. We're doing a podcast on drinking because, let's face it, what's our first love?
Liquor.
Drinking.
Oh, wait. So.
I'm sorry. I couldn't time that any better.
That was perfect. Okay, y'all. So when you are opening these guys, I never pointed at anybody. You never know when these things are just going to pop off.
Yeah.
And you always want to turn the bottle. I think that this during New Year's, you always want to turn the bottle. What I do is that I cover in order to avoid the bottle topper from just flying all over the place. So you always want to turn the bottle, not the top.
Yes.
And then you're going to hear it.
Yep.
There's beautiful sound. And those bubbles, they're just coming right up. You can see those bubbles just rising.
Look at that. Oh, they froze again. You coming back? She'll be back. I promise. There they are. There
we are. I think everybody is right now trying to get a hold of their loved ones, and we're having internet issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell it. Did you smell it? Oh my goodness. What a gorgeous
I was going to get it in my glass to smell it.
Oh my goodness. The smell just came out. So make sure you're going slowly. I went too fast, and the oxygen,
I think I went a little bit too fast
you.
as well.
Yeah, you just need to wait a moment and then pour. There you go. You can put in a strawberry or raspberry at the bottom just to make it look just gorgeous. But one thing to remember, when you are washing a strawberry, wash it before you cut off the green top, because otherwise it gets inside and then you got water in there. So you wash your strawberries very gently, and then you put it in there, slice it in half. It'll go to the bottom. It just looks gorgeous. It gives you a little something, something. And are you going to come have a sip with me? No, he's like, no. He's still working. So Sean's still working hard. So look at all those.
I love it. The fact that you and I, by the way, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. You and I, all right, to episode 12. All right. I realize we're doing a thing on Valentine's night, but Valentine's night happened to coincide this year with the day after the Super Bowl. And let's face it, you and I are going to work for a long time.
We are. So this, again, it is a sparkling wine. So you will see all the bubbles. if you get a true champagne from
Oh my
Champagne,
gosh.
France, is that not delicious? You will get one little row, just a gorgeous one row. This one has multiple. It doesn't matter. The taste of this is
okay. The taste I'm getting, I'm getting, strawberry notes into it. All right, fruity, along with the almond. Is that right?
it has all these. Oh my goodness, this is the first time I've had it. So I had ordered this, and then I sent a bottle over to Tim and to Mr. T, because I said Mr. T has got to have this, because he had talked about the his Texas almond wine, and so I knew that this was on back. It was sold out, and so the rep said as soon as it came on, she says it's back on, and I'm like, I have to go get it right now.
I need now.
Yeah. So I got it, and I was able to send it, but it's just this deliciousness of flavor. So let's see where it says great
It's
wine
got like
start.
a bouquet of fruit and the nuts and it's, oh my God, it is so
toasted notes and a decadent bubble finish, but there are so many flavors in here, just gorgeous amount of flavors. So this can probably go with just about anything. So tonight's dinner consists of pasta with this delicious mushroom white sauce, topped with prawns, these gorgeous prawns. And
we're having lamb chops
and lamb
beet
chops,
salad.
Yeah. I got distracted. Sea scallops. This will go. It goes well with the steak.
Goes really well with the shrimp.
I'm going to have it without the cocktail sauce because I want to get that seafood flavor before I add a cocktail sauce. So,
I'm telling you, it takes the tomatoes and everything we have here tonight and just it explodes it.
Oh my goodness, you're right. The almond flavor just went poof with the seafood. So I'm going to add a little bit of the cocktail sauce now.
Yeah, I think you're going to find the tomato sauce, tomatoes in your cocktail sauce. It's like a fruit explosion because we do know tomato is a fruit, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is it? Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, and what's the other one?
Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad.
Thank you. Knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Dang it. We're right there. That's why we work together, because I remember one part, you remember the whole part.
Yep.
But yes, the flavors just went poof. Yeah.
Delicious. So yesterday, while we were having our brunch at this old moonshine bar that we had in Fort Worth, I was telling the girls as she's making my Bloody Mary. She's making Bloody Marys at the bar. We sat at the bar right in front of us, right? And I'm like, we just did Bloody Marys on our podcast last week. She goes, podcast? I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. We do a podcast on drinking and food pairing on Monday nights. And she points to Gwen. You guys do it together? I'm like, no. Gwen doesn't want to be on a podcast with me. All right. But I said my partner in podcasting, Gladys, she's in Oregon, and we're both, alcohol and food nuts. So we want to do a podcast together. And she goes, oh, I got to go find that. What's the name of it? Right. And I'm like, well, we're in between stuff, but yeah, it's worth LadyG and MrT Like the Way You Drink podcast. Oh, okay. So here we go.
Nice. Yeah. I went to see a friend I hadn't seen in over 2 years. She immediately found me, liked it, went to YouTube, liked it, sent it to her kids in the Philippines, sent it to some of her other friends. They're like, hey, you got to like this. You got to like this. I'm like, we're trying to get to 25 on YouTube, y'all. Let's get us to 25.
Actually, on YouTube, we need 100, by the way.
Oh, I thought it was 25. Okay.
We need 100. YouTube changed a while back, and they went to 100.
Okay, we can do this.
If it's 25 on Facebook. It's 100 on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
So help us out, y'all.
Yeah. I actually made it made it easy to get to using pretty links, and that is timgillette.com/LadyG and MrT YouTube.
Nice. So, follow the links, y'all. Share it with your friends, especially if you enjoy it. We want feedback. We want to know, what do you want to know about? And that's what we're going to bring on. If there's a specific food you want us to pair, or a specific spirit.
Or what do you want? What do you want to know? What drinks to have? Because I mean, I research everything I do. All right. When Gwen says to me, this has always been me. All right. We're having pork chops tonight. What wine? Pick a wine.
Right.
I will go to Google and Google it. Right. And then I'll sit and look at 3 to 4 of them, and I'll think of the tastes in my head before I pick one. Now I've got 130 some odd wine rack over here, so I've got a choice to pick from. Right.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, I learned to study what I want and what it goes with what. So,
yep.
But I want to know from our listeners. All right, if you listen to the show today, all right, and you got it all the way through to it, what's left over from your Super Bowl party, and will you throw it out or eat it throughout the week? I'm just curious.
I know.
To me, Super Bowl party food is like the week after Thanksgiving. You eat it for leftovers.
There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I'm going to rat out the Sean's roommate and the girlfriend. They do not eat leftovers. And so there was one of the days the girlfriend ended up making this delicious salmon dinner. It was good with the salad and what have you. And they said, yeah, we're not going to have leftovers. So the next day, Sean and I made this delicious, almost like a hash, but not exactly. So we cut up into little cubes, and we made this beurre blanc sauce with the wine and the chef cheese, and paired it. And we took a picture and we said, this is what leftovers is for us. We make something completely different and have fun with it. This steak, that would have been a salad probably, if I had more steak to have for leftovers. The wings, you can do something different,
I'll just eat, like you said, because I got mine cold. I will actually just take the wings out, and I won't even reheat them, and I'll eat them.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah.
And the cocktail sauce, you can turn it into a Mexican cocktail. Chop it up, throw your cocktail sauce, throw some cilantro, some green onions, some tomatoes, a little bit more lemon juice, and you now have a Mexican cocktail. You can call it a ceviche, and throw it on a tostada, and then have Corona beer with it, and that's your.
I'm all out of Corona beer. I finished. I told you I'd finish that one. I still have some Ruby Red left, a little bit, but I think I'm champagneing it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's here too. I think this is gonna make our dinner just boom.
I know, yeah, it will. So next week, for those of you who come out next week, we are going to have our old-fashioned recipe cook-off, if you want. I am going to come up with an old-fashioned recipe that I have found over the past year, and Gladys is going to come up with an old-fashioned recipe. And until next week, I don't know what's going to be in hers, and she doesn't know what's going to be in mine.
Yeah, and the thing is, I love old-fashioned. That's my go-to. When I go out, it's like I want an old-fashioned. That is my drink before I have dinner. No matter what I drink with my dinner, and sometimes it's just water, I want my old-fashioned first.
Yeah.
So this time, I have to make my own. So I've done it before. I got the stuff at home. I just usually say, hey, Sean, could you make it? This time, I got to make my own. So we will see what that tastes like.
Well, it's part of, sometimes you got to be a bartender for your parties. You've got to come up with ideas and drinks. And, the greatest thing I love about drinking and getting drinks is, remember the old days where the bartender had the book? Okay, this is what I have to do with, right? That's not it anymore. Now we experiment.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, let's try this. It's like, that surprised me. I've done that with bartenders. I said, this is what I normally drink.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And I was at a friend's house, and I had Talisker. It's a scotch, but it's very peaty.
Yeah.
And I was making Manhattans, and people kept coming back. And I was like, okay, then. So I became the bartender that night. I was just making drinks for everybody. And I was like, okay. This was, of course, 3 years ago. This is pre-COVID. I was just making drinks, and that was so much fun. I wasn't drinking because I was making drinks for everybody else, making sure they were having a good time, making sure they had good drinks, and using, I had so many little straws because I was tasting it to make sure it tasted good, and I wasn't going to put that same straw. So I went through a bunch of little straws. Sorry, Mother Earth. We got to taste it. We got to taste it because you're not going to send something out that doesn't taste good.
No, you don't. So anyway, well, it's been another fun episode this week. All right. I took care of some of the beers in my refrigerator. I've got some champagne to celebrate with my wife tonight.
Oh.
Because I only had a glass, so I've got tons left.
Yeah, I got tons left too, as y'all can see. I had to throw my little flowers in here. Sean is notorious. He loves giving me roses and lilies, so I had to put these out here because he brought them in yesterday, and I was like, oh. So this is kind of my, as you can tell, this little guy.
The wine decanter turned into a flower?
Yes. It has been a vase for a year now because it has it's big enough mouth, but small enough that it helps keep everything together. Whereas my real vase, it's so wide at the top. This one keeps everything in and it's not too small. So the wine decanter has become, and there's a little rose for all of you to smell.
Cool. So,
enjoy your time with your loved ones. Be safe out there. I drove all the way up here over an hour to get to Vancouver from Wilsonville just because I knew I would be drinking. If I stayed in Wilsonville, I would not make it up here.
That's right. That's right. So
be safe, y'all.
If you are drinking, all right, please do not drink and drive. If drinking is a problem, please seek help. All right. I'm Tim Gillette. All right. Simple Easy Marketing. Go to simpleeasyevents.com. Find out more about me or my main website, timgillette.com. My co-host is
Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design in Oregon. Even if you have questions on insurance, I will find you somebody in your state. If I can help you, I know somebody that will.
I love it. We'll see you guys next week where we do our old fashions. Bye.